Hello, welcome to Cartoon Reviews, where where I stand here and talk about cartoons and then I review them. Huzzah! Yeah, so this time we're gonna talk about Adventure Time Reviews, Season 6, Episode 3, James 2. And I've been reading a lot in the comments about how this episode wasn't as good, wasn't actually was kind of a bad episode, and it had a better resolution, and the whole zombie fight should have been much more major. It should have had a much major impact on the story, and it was kind of finished very quickly. So I think personally that this episode is a very good transition between the whole Escape from the Citadel, which was a very dark episode, to the Tower, which is the continuation of Escape from the Citadel. So the next episode, we're gonna get this shit resolved. It's going down. Finn is gonna get Finn, as I heard in the description. Finn is going to try and get his arm back and say, "Motherfucker, I need that arm because it's mine. So fuck you." So, so yeah, that was. I'm waiting for that episode. That is a very anticipated episode for me. So I'm gonna go with the synopsis. Then I'm gonna go with the good things that happened in this episode, and then I'm gonna go with the bad things that I didn't like. My expectations for the next episode, the tower, and of course some trivia from this episode. So let's start with for synopsis, which says that Finn and Jake discover that clone James has been faking his own death to collect medals. Now there are 25 Jameses running amok. That is pretty much the whole synopsis. Finn and Jake discover James. Finn and Jake discover James, and that he's been cloning to get some medals. um, they don't tell Princess Bubblegum, but she finds that on her own. Then she sends the banana guards to go and collect them. And the episode ends with the whole zombie fight, which connects this episode to the other episode from James. Okay, so now with the good things. Okay, the first thing that I want to really say about this episode, it was that it was a really fun episode. I was like, it had a really fun moments. There was a moment where Finn and Jake are just sitting around on the top of the wall and they're seeing this whole mess and they're just like ah ha ha ha. And Phoebe's getting mad like, what the fuck are you, why the fuck are you guys not helping me? They come on, just sit down and just relax and just enjoy the chaos. Well, not the chaos, but the whole thing about them. I mean, the banana guards trying to capture the Jameses. So that part where Finn, Jake, and Princess Bubblegum were just laughing and just eating on top of the wall and having fun. I was like, okay, that was really fun. Also, the whole scenery where the banana guards are trying to capture the Jameses reminded me of the old cartoon shows where where one where pretty much some Jerry where one character is just running and the other one and Tommy is chasing him, and then Jerry all of a sudden puts like a trap so that so that Tom can fall in. So that was kind of interesting. Also, the other thing, the whole conversation about the Jameses and the banana guard saying, "Hey man, you look like some guy that I know." It's like, okay, how many are you? Oh, you're 25. Oh, finding, we're actually trying to find people who are 25. Oh, you look the same. Oh, we're actually trying to find. So that conversation actually ended up with the banana guard saying, you know what? It would be kind of good to all of us banana guards having the same name, and then he just almost like starts crying like this, it will make it so much more easier to exist. I was like, holy shit. I was like, that for me was the best part of this whole episode, where he's just defining the banana guard who's in charge is defining his own existence of living, and saying that he's just a clone, that it would be better if all of us would be one instead of multiple, and we wouldn't have be individuals, like a group. So that whole resistance where he's questioning why we have to be different, we all look exactly the same. So I was like, okay, that was kind of deep. The other thing that I really like about this episode it was a semi-plot related. This episode connects directly to James, where at the end of this episode we get the anticipated zombie fight where we see the zombies and the banana guards have to fight them. And wow, the banana guards are, if there was a real invasion, the banana guards would die easily. I mean, because they are not the smartest creatures. I'm sorry, but they are dumb. I'm sorry. It's just they go forward in front and they're like just getting just getting their ass kicked by the zombies. And the last thing that I really liked about this episode, which I have to have to say it again, is that this is like a relax. Let's take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath because last episode, Escape from the Citadel, was dark. This is gonna be a just fun. Um, let's have fun. Let's make some reference to old cartoons. Fun episode. I think that if somebody says to me, "Hey, look, do you recommend me this episode?" And I would say, if you're a fan of Adventure Time and if you have seen these characters from the longest, no, even if you haven't seen Adventure Time, I think that this episode will still be likable, and I think people will still like it. It's not like a throughout like groundbreaking episode, but it's still a fun episode, which is kind of like nice because it's relaxing. Because the next episode is gonna be the freaking tower, and now the motherfucking tower. Okay, now we're gonna go with the bad things that I didn't like, and this goes off with the ending of this episode. The ending was anticlimactic. The way that all of this was resolved was like, well, you could have resolved it better, and that is pretty much the zombie fight. When, well, in the last episode in James, um, the whole where they're trying to get to the castle and they're going to attack it. I was like, okay, so maybe this is gonna have a bigger impact. It didn't have. It was really quickly resolved by the guardians that protect the the kingdom, and they were just shooting ravens and all exploded. And the death of James wasn't that important because all of the James kind of just end up like throwing themselves at the James that was a zombie, and then become this huge blob, and then say, yeah, that was it. We won. That was it. And that was kind of bad. And then PV tells them, okay, for your grave, for saving me, I'm gonna give you the medals back. And then they say, okay, now you have to go to the desert. Like, why? What do you mean? Why do we have to? Why do we have to go to the desert? Like, because what do you mean? Why? You just lied to me and made me have to clone you motherfuckers for 25 times. The fuck is wrong with you? You get the fuck out of here. And of course, he tells him, okay, if you leave right now, I'm gonna send you a medal once every single day. Like, a medal, yes. And then they go out, and the show ends with PB saying, I'm not gonna miss this guy. I'm not gonna miss that guy. And the show ends. That was kind of like, okay, it was the whole death of James was bad. The zombie fight was really rushed, really fast concluded, didn't have a good impact. The ending was anticlimactic. Even though it was a fun episode, it was like, you could have made it better. Or the death of James, it was, it showed how cruel PV is, and could have that transition to this episode, but it didn't. So I was like, that was a shame. That was kind of waste. So for the rating of this episode, I'm gonna give it a 7. Like I said, if somebody tells me right now, would you recommend me this episode? Should I watch this episode? I would like yes, because it does connect to an older episode, and because this is a fun episode. It's gonna make you. I hope that it makes you laugh. So that's it. My rating is a 7. I do recommend it, but I don't think it's gonna have. But if you don't like it because of the whole James stuff was not important in the zombie fight, I understand. For me, it was a fun episode. Now for some trivia. Okay, first trivia. Princess Bubblegum is wearing a new hairstyle and different clothing for part of this episode. It says the Princess Bubblegum had a thicker ties than usual when she was wearing her safari outfit. She also wore shoes with her usual pink dress as opposed to being a barefoot like in most episodes. Oh. Second trivia. It is revealed that 3 months have passed since the events from the episode James. And the last one, which I think is very important because it does do an episode connection, is that the ghoul monsters are also seen from the episodes Simon and Marcy and the episode James. Also, the promotional artwork shows root beer guy on vacation on the beach with his wife Sherry Cream Soda. It says that this explains why he isn't in this episode and why Princess Bubblegum asked who is in charge that day. So that's all the trivia. If you have any questions for me, you can write it down below. I'll put the Twitter below so you can message me. And of course, I want to put the webcomic below so you can watch my webcomics. Thank you very much. See you on the next episode. Yes, yes, yes.